Here goes nothing. Hello YouTube. Long time no see. It has been well over a year since I've made a video, and for that I am sorry. I guess you could say I kind of lost my inspiration, and here's the reason I have it back. Now, before I go sounding like a crazed Connor Franta fangirl, this book is not the sole reason why. He went on his tour for the book, you know, as any Franta friend, I don't know what I'm talking about. And I got to go meet him not once, but twice. So that was a pretty cool experience. First time was very different than the second, but his tour and his content are the reason why I'm back. Of you who are still subscribed to me, and I can't thank you enough. There are 862 of you somehow still subscribed to this channel. It hasn't put any new content out for over a year, so I don't know who you are, but you're amazing. If you're wondering where I have been this entire time, I actually currently work at a thrift store. I just kind of feel a little done with retail. I decided to try something else, and I'm hoping that that something else will be YouTube. I haven't graduated out of the retail circle yet. I'm probably going to wait a little while and see how this whole YouTube thing goes over, because if I grow at the rate that I started out at and kind of dropped off at, then there might actually be something hopeful for me in the future of this, but if it doesn't take off very well, I still need to have a job. For any of you that might be watching that have no idea who Connor Franta is, Connor Franta is a YouTuber that started back in 2010. I think I've been watching him since 2011, so probably a year after he started. I remember watching him when he was still in the thousands of subscribers, and now he's over 5 million and still growing. He's a New York Times bestseller for not just one, but 2 books, including Note to Self, his most recent book. And he had a tour for this book. First one was just a meet and greet, which I went to. It was here in Seattle at the University Bookstore. I bought my tickets to that one and then found out that there was going to be one in Portland as well, but this was going to be a more immersive tour. On this second tour, and you can hear Connor talk all about this because he got super excited on his channel, and I can't blame him because it was amazing. He worked with a company called Adventures in Wonderland. I actually met Emily and quite a few of the others that work for Adventures in Wonderland, and I would love to work for Adventures in Wonderland personally because they're freaking amazing. Totally game for that. He rented out an entire semi-truck, and there were 3 rooms in this semi-truck that came out of inspiration from the book. Well, let me mention, the weather decided to be 80 degrees that day on a random Tuesday in Portland, and I was wearing this jacket, so I was a little bit toasty. First room that you go into, it's this gorgeous room, and I actually have video footage of it.
I feel warm but cold at the same time, as if I'm the same temperature as the air in the room around me, as if we've somehow achieved equilibrium, existing peacefully together, inside of each other, in sync.
Gorgeous and wonderful, and it was air conditioned, which was nice. The second room, when I walked in, I was like, oh, I really like this room. It's really neat. And if you've ever seen those cloud lamp things, the big fluffy lamps, I totally didn't make one at all. I mean, why would I do something like that? It's amazing room where you walk in and there's these clouds like blinking, and it's dark, and there's fog machines, and I really liked it when I walked in, and then the audio started playing.
Stop.
never forgive you for that. It is, like, emotionally traumatizing. I mean, as it should be, because it's the room that has to deal with his depression. So that was a really, really moving room to walk through. Side note, this thing is, like, freaking cool. It's a paper lantern coated in polyfiber fill, and you turn on the light and it becomes a glowing cloud. Isn't it freaking amazing? I'm just gonna, like, hang it from my ceiling, and every time I look at it I'm gonna think of Connor, because this is his fault that I made this, and I still haven't found the hook things that I'm supposed to put on my ceiling to put it up. So it's gonna be a while, but cloud, it's amazing. I love it so much. Thank you, and also, Connor, for making me make this indirectly. I blame you. I blame you for all of this. If I can turn this thing off, that would be great. So the last room is just as feels-inducing as the second room, but it's more of happy feels, because it's this room with all these flashing lights, and every single wall is a mirror. There's a big quote on one side, and then on the other side is all mirrors. And when we walked in, the group of like 5 or 6 people that went in with me, because sorry, I got distracted. There's what I was saying. It's all mirrors, and when we went through it, there was only the one group that had gone ahead of us in the first tour stop. There was like all the little sticky notes from that stop, and then we were able to put up our own sticky notes, and I think this is a continuing thing, because every single picture that I've seen of the tour as it progresses, there's been more and more of these sticky notes like piling on top of each other. It's just this beautiful, beautiful room about like being yourself and being okay with your body and your sexuality and everything about yourself, and just not being afraid to fearlessly be you. It is like heart-touchingly amazing, especially after the depression room.
What would those 3 words be? Stop and genuinely think about it. It's my hope for me, for you, for everyone else, that one day, someday soon, we will look at the mirror and confidently see the reflection of our true selves. The person we know we are, and we're always capable of becoming. But most of all, the person we are happy with and proud to be.
There was a Q&A, which was really, really cool, because I bought the VIP package. That thingy, see, VIP, note to self tour. It's a little lanyard. First row was reserved for the VIP people. Connor was sitting not 3 feet in front of me, like diagonal to me, and I would make a comment like out loud, not really intending for him to hear it, but like he would, and he would turn and look right at me and answer me.
Egg salad donut. At least it wasn't fish.
Yeah, the guacamole one was worse, to be honest.
One of the ones that I didn't manage to catch on video, but was probably like the most interactive of it, was somebody asked him if he'd ever thought of being involved in a movie, which is something I would have asked him if I hadn't have gone so like completely brain dead when she said, here's a notepad, if you want to write down a question for Connor, go ahead. I did not know what to write down in that moment. I ended up asking him from my seat, even though it wasn't my question. I just said, but actor or director? And he turned and looked right at me and went, oh, me? And I said, yeah, you. And he said, director, personally, because I don't see myself being an actor. I'm just sitting there thinking, Connor, you don't see yourself being an actor. Okay, we need to talk, Connor, because you you definitely have it in you. Also, the other thing that I found absolutely hilarious about this was that there's a guy sorry about this, Sam. There was a guy who was Connor's like, you know, big bulky security guy, because, you know, crazy teenage people being after Connor, trying to attack him and kidnap him and take him home with them. Not a good idea without somebody to be, you know, the big bulky muscles. So Sam was this really, really sweet guy who entertained us while we were waiting in line to get into the trailer, and he totally looks like Chris Pratt. Connor agrees with all of us. We've already established this. Sam, you look like Chris Pratt. This hallway where there's the big doors where we were supposed to go into the Q&A, Sam was gonna like walk Connor down that hallway. I had sat down in this hallway and a bunch of people had come to join me, and I was like charging my phone, and Sam comes out and goes, "Don't freak out, I'm going to walk him down this hallway." And I'm just sitting there like, oh great, we're gonna have a bunch of squealing fangirls. Sam, this is not a good idea. Do not do this. These people are all already freaking out. So he just kind of goes, don't like scream and hold up your phones or anything. Just let him walk down the hallway. He's a perfectly normal human being, just like any of the rest of us. And so all of us are kind of just sitting there with our phones on our legs like, we're not videotaping, we're just guilty as well. I have like an 8-second clip of him walking past or some weird thing like that.
Hello! Yay!
I like the shirt, by the way.
Awesome shirt.
It's kind of funny to have that happen, and then I was like the last one to leave the hotel from this experience, so I actually said bye to him as he was leaving as well, trying not to risk sounding like a complete fan-crazed weirdo that wants to just stalk Connor, and avoiding that. It is my ultimate goal to sit down in, you know, a Starbucks or like a local coffee shop. There's a couple of really good ones up here that I would love to sit down in with him and have like a coffee and just talk about life. Yeah, it essentially is my personal, like, I wouldn't even really say dream, because it's not like something I fantasize about. It's more of just, I would love to do this one day, and if it happens, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Because I know it's kind of a little bit unreasonable. It sounds strange, but I would love to just sit down and have a coffee with him someday and talk about life and love and everything in between. I mean, I know pretty much anybody would love to have a coffee date with Connor Franta. Whoa, camera's moving. Did not mean to do. They're trying to get up and leave on me. That's rude. I feel like because I have been on both sides of the spectrum, mind you, it's only been twice with like 2 people with the oh my gosh, you're famous side, but I've been on both sides of the spectrum to the point where when I'm meeting somebody like that, it's like, oh my gosh, you're here and I can touch you and I can hug you and like you're real. But it's also that moment of realizing that that person is human, because I had to pull out something with all their pictures on it because I felt bad. I met Gustavo. I have met Mo, Morbid Morgan online. I have met TT, Let There Be Doodles / Ask the Boy Who Lives on Tumblr. I have met Elena, who is an amazing artist, so is TT. Both of them are amazing artists. You should check out their stuff. Met Frostplay, the Jack Frost. You should definitely check out Jack's stuff. Nano, who is one of my super close friends from online who lives in California with Connor and Jack. And Cassie and Becky, they're also 2 close friends like Nano. And more recently, Connor, and another friend of mine from online named Finn, and another younger friend of mine named Emily. Emily and Finn are 2 of the ones that were the other side of the spectrum, with like TT and Mo and Cassie and Becky and all of them. It was, oh my gosh, you're here and you're real and I can touch you and hug you and this is physical contact. And with Emily and Finn, it was kind of the same thing, but it was more of like, I felt like I was meeting a fan. I know that sounds really self-centered of me, but it was like Finn kept saying over and over again, I can't believe I'm really here with you, and I can't believe I'm really able to touch you and stuff, and it was just over and over and over again. And the same kind of thing happened with Emily. I mean, she wasn't saying it out loud, but Emily was just very, very like, she messaged me after we met and was like, I'm so sorry, I was so awkward, you're so amazing and wonderful, and I didn't know what to do about it. And I'm like, it's okay, honey, you were perfectly fine. I feel like I'm the awkward one if anything. That's still really hard to explain if like you've never experienced it firsthand. It's a really cool experience to meet somebody that you only ever see through the computer in person, no matter who they are, no matter how internet famous they are. You have to really, when you're meeting people from the internet, keep in mind that they are in fact human and that they live and breathe just like you and that they eat some of the same foods you do, probably not all the same foods you do, you know, deal with depression and they deal with anxiety and they deal with being happy and they deal with being sad and they feel just as awkward as you do. It's weird meeting somebody that you've never met before. It's a little different with like online friends that, you know, you've talked to before and had conversations with, but when you're meeting somebody who they know a ton about you because you've exposed your life to them online and through books and things, and you literally know nothing about them, that's a little nerve-wracking. So yeah, it's gonna be awkward on both ends, and you shouldn't be nervous about it. You should just let it happen and have fun with it. Be yourself, relax. They'll relax if you're relaxed. The second time I went in to meet him, I had my pose prepared. So I went in and was, Connor, can we do the back-to-back pose, you know, the thing? And my pictures of they're actually really funny because the first one, there's two from this experience. He's very serious pose, and then he turns to me, he stops and he goes, wait, are we being serious? I don't know if we're being serious or not. And I go, no, I wasn't. And he goes, oh, okay, then we gotta take another one. And he does the cutest thing. He puts all of his weight onto my shoulder and leans his head back and grins. Super, super cute. In fact, I started drawing it because it's absolutely adorable. And I can actually probably edit them into this, but it's adorable. Super, super, super cute. I got off on quite a few rabbit trails in this video because I felt it necessary to talk about Connor and how amazing he is and how amazing his tour was and just everything about him being wonderful. But the real point of this video, if we get down to it, is that I'm back on YouTube. I'm gonna try it out for a little while, see where things go. I know that I'm not immediately gonna, you know, take off and become super, super YouTube famous. That's just not how things work. This is just a huge thank you to Connor for giving me that spark that I needed to get the fire burning again. Creative spark is quite obviously back because this wouldn't exist if it wasn't. If anything, Connor's tour really woke me up and re-sparked that creativity and that passion for the creative arts that I have, and I realized that combined with my experience at the two jobs that I've had, which have both been retail, I've just kind of given up on the creativity that I have and the potential that I have. I mean, there's so much that you can do in the creative field, and yes, it's hard. Yes, it's going to take work to maintain a creative profession and try to make money being somebody who's creative, but I'm willing to go for it. If Connor can do it, so can I. I know how else to end this video, but to say thank you, because this is going to be where I say thank you to everybody who's watching this video, everybody who's stayed subscribed to my channel, the 862 of you that have, for, you know, the year that I basically didn't do anything. Thank you to anyone who comes over from Instagram or Tumblr to watch my YouTube content and to support me here. Thank you to Connor. Thank you to Emily. Thank you to Sam. Thank you to Adventures in Wonderland. Thank you to all of you for being an inspiration to me, supporting me, and bringing that spark back, and telling me not to be afraid to let the fire burn. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you liked this video, You can follow me on Instagram, add me on Snapchat. I'm Sparrow at Heart pretty much anywhere, and I do believe the links are in the down bar down there. So yeah, I'll see you guys real soon with another one. Bye.